Hello, everyone. It's Saturday morning now, the 10th of February, and I'm coming back at you to say cheers and thank you. Cheers. Well, what a nice response to digital sex. All these packages are kind of fat because everyone is receiving, like I said, an extra disc of music out of my collection. I just about emptied that pile of discs. I've got 5 more. 6 more. 6 more that I had pulled to give away. Okay. So, haven't been to the post office yet, so we'll see if the extra weight on the packages makes that much of a difference. Could end up being that what I did was more of a gift than I realized if the postage comes out more than usual. If so, that's okay. I want to thank you all so very much for the kind response so far, and it's just really just come out to the David Nance Mode Sound album. I love it. If you do a review, please post a link to it. If you show a picture of it in the music groups, which some people have already, tag me. I love it. I really do. I was talking to Randy last night. Randy LeMasters is his name. He used to have a record store in Pittsburgh. Randy's Alternative Music. Randy has an amazing collection himself, but also an amazing collection of selfies. All the people he's met over the years, the people he's friends with the people in the church. He's got pictures of himself with all of Porcupine Tree, The Cure, you name it. The Monkees, and a good guy. He is a true friend. So I'm going to probably have him send me more discs. Thank you, folks. Grab one. I am still celebrating, what I shared with Randy, and it was brought to my attention by LE. I was so caught up in other things that yesterday was February 9th. That was the day that the Beatles appeared on Ed Sullivan and did I Want to Hold Your Hand. So I went and watched on YouTube the clip, because honestly, I had never watched it since I was a child, maybe catching parts of it in documentaries and stuff. It was electric. And of course, it wasn't like I remembered, but when the girl started screaming, interestingly, I remember that, actually. That changed my life. The Beatles on Ed Sullivan was life-changing, and it was fitting that I would have a Beatles moment for me personally on February 9th, where an album on a fairly major independent label is released internationally, the Mode Sound. I love it. So you folks who follow me, you heard me say how I would like to see myself in Pitchfork. Yesterday, Pitchfork. We made their recommendations of the week, along with Brittany Howard, the girl from Alabama Shakes with the big sunglasses on her new cover. I checked her out. She's good. I won't be buying that. That's more soulful than I'm looking for. Okay. But I'm tickled that, to be in that company. My friend Randy pointed out to me that we're on the new release pages of several distributors, Rough Trade. So I had to see that for myself. Rough Trade label being really important to me, in the history of punk and post-punk. So when I went over to their page and saw the David Nance, it's a thrill. It tickles me. For you folks keeping track, or for just for part of how I'm feeling this moment, I like to name drop. I do, shamelessly, because it's fun. You ever heard of the band from Nebraska called 311? You know, they're in their own right pretty big shit. Um, they were inspired to start that band in part by seeing RAF. I remember them when they were kids coming to our shows. Now, if you happen to know any of the guys in 311, ask them. They'll tell you. I'm proud of that, you know, and I worked with Peanut's mom in mental health. So there's that. I've shown this before. I'm going to show it again because I love this. It's like it's a moment, you know, so I'm enjoying this moment. It's a moment that will pass, but it's cool. Name drop another. NOFX, those crazy punk rockers, grown men acting like kids, but really not. Hepatitis Bathtub. That's the name of the book about them, or a documentary about them, right? Well, this single, I recorded it back in the 80s at my old house on my old 4-track. And it says recorded in a basement in Omaha in 1987. That was my basement. That was my basement. And it took me a minute. Actually, it took me a while to get a copy of this from the band. That was a wild day. RAF had opened up for them the night before at a show. NOFX and Beefeater. It was a great show. I'll be dang, people. I'm getting another sale as I'm on the phone here. Wow. Thank you, Mitchell. Okay. I ran out of mailers, so when I go and mail these, I have to buy some more mailers. I'll get those out. But this is fun. This is fun for me. I'm really enjoying it. It is a Beatles thing for me. It's the recognition, and also being a part of, even more so part of the actual music business. Even though I always say I hate the term business, I do, but I love this. So, other than that, this is one of my favorite albums of all time, and it's not on vinyl. Steve Jansen and Richard Barbieri. Remember, I talked to Richard December of 2022. It's in my interviews playlist. Stone to Flesh. This has been reissued on CD, but still not on vinyl. This is just ideal. This is fantastic. It's just some of the best music ever. Excuse me. When I was down at Grapefruit hanging out with David, and it was a good hang. I really like David a lot. I bought a couple of records, kept it down low. This is mind-blowing. I'm going to have Randy send me some more discs. I bought this by Hiroshi Yoshimura, Music for 9 Postcards. He has another well-known by those who know this sort of thing album called Green. Ambient. This was made very cheaply, but it doesn't sound cheap. It's very much like Eric Satie. It's gorgeous. Hiroshi Yoshimura, Music for 9 Postcards. I picked that up, and I want to show this because I just felt like pulling something to play. And Andrea, if you happen to see this, I want to thank you again. Andrea is in Italy, has a small label, and he sent me some records over the years, some really cool stuff, and this is one of them. IOSONOUNCANE. It's in Italian, so I don't know what it's about. This is really compelling, and this is the sort of thing I love. There are elements of this that are like pop, but mostly it's all this sound work in the songs. This is wonderful. I don't know what it's about, but I found myself listening to almost all. I listened to two of the three records, of the three record set. I don't know how this person is regarded in Italy, if they're a pop star or not. But this is big. It's a big production. And there's a lot of elements in this in the mix. It sounds like a lot of work went into this album. I really enjoyed that yesterday. Anything else? Well, yeah. I'm embarrassed. I already had this homebrew. BPJ sent me a CD of this. So when I put on side 2, they said, "Oh yeah, I remember this." It's relaxed from a private session. It's not like a live gig. It's these guys working out together, and it's good because it gets to the point where Elton Dean takes off. That's what you always. Well, that's what I look for. That's what you hope for, really. Actually, in music, in ensemble playing, you hope for those magic moments, and they happen here. Steve Miller, Pyle, Elton Dean, homebrew, really good. I bought one other record out of the used section at Grapefruit yesterday. Areski. I first became familiar with him with Brigitte. I have her records up here. Yes, Fontaine, Brigitte Fontaine. Areski, Un Beau Matin. This is a reissue. This is pretty cool. It's real stripped down, but not folk. More minimalist in a way. It's pretty cool. I don't speak the language. As I've said, in a lot of the time, I don't need to know what you're talking about at all. If you come across in the atmosphere, that alone sometimes is enough. That's my shit. So, in the comments, thank you folks for giving me the feedback about Dave Bonanza that you like it. Someone asked me about African music, and I thought I'll do this because I'm not really listening to any African music right now. How does this sound? Are you familiar with Tony Allen? He was with Fela, master drummer. This isn't Fela. Are you catching the African rhythm there? Simple. This is me. I have a series of pieces I'm working on with African rhythms. No horns or any other added musicians on this track yet. So yeah, no, I'm not the person to ask about, like, especially, let me be quiet. Here's what I got to say about modern African music, because Africa's blowing up, and I'm not over there. But I would encourage you to explore, because there's a ton of shit and not old stuff. Africa is happening right now. One artist that I can think of is Duma. Really edgy noise electronics from Africa. Duma. Fantastic. Okay, folks, so the way it's going, don't sit on your hands. Get a copy of the Digital Sex. When I run out of this pile of extra CDs, I'm done. I'll find out how much out of pocket this takes me. I have a feeling the postage is higher than I was thinking it would be, but that's all fine. Family in California, I'm glad that you guys have survived the rain storms out there, and hope everybody else is doing okay. Please leave comments, and like I said, grab this music. My music. Thank you for the folks who went ahead and bought Digital Sex Plus Interlude. Last thing I'll say, when you listen to the Digital Sex, you should be able to hear the through line of progress from Digital Sex to Interlude, because I'm the architect of this music. Also, when you look at the credits of the Digital Sex, you will see on several tracks on that album, I play all the instruments. The only thing I don't do is sing. Take care, folks. Stay in touch.